Hi everyone, hope you're having a good weekend. We're going to go over what's coming up in week 11. This week we're mainly focused on working on that editor's introduction, since it is the main piece of writing that you will do about your research. So we're spending most of our week looking at that, and then on Friday you'll start looking towards putting together the entire reader's guide, and also this thing called the editor's projected inquiry. But for Monday, you are going to do a fixed up draft of your editor's introduction. So you should have already done the down draft, which was due on Friday. So the fixed up draft, just like Anne Lamott said in that essay, Should He First Drafts, the second draft is the up draft. You fix it up. So the fixed up draft means that it's fixed up enough for others to read it. And you want to aim to get 1,000 words so that you're 2/3 of the way to that 1,500 word total. If you get to 1,500 words on this draft, that's great. That means less free work for you in the future. But you want to try to force yourself to get the 1,000 words written. Here's my main suggestions for how to revise your down draft into this fixed up draft. So my main suggestion is do not copy and paste your down draft into the fixed up draft document and then just add on to it. Okay, the down draft is just the very rough beginnings of your thoughts for the editor's introduction. So what I would suggest doing, and what I would do myself, is to either have the down draft open in another window on your computer or print it off and next to you as you're working, and to simply start rewriting it into another document as you look at it, but not copying and pasting. So if you do this, if you are rewriting sentence by sentence your down draft, you will naturally think of more to say and add on to it as you are doing that. Okay, so that's going to help you add more content. So as you're writing, you will naturally add more based on thinking about what you have already said so far. So you might pause and say, what else could I say about this, and add that on. Another way to write more is to talk more about the connections between your sources in that second section of the editor's introduction. So you might pull out quotes from sources and say, this shows that this source is connected to this source in this way, or that these sources agree or disagree on this aspect of the topic. So in that second section, you can elaborate on how your sources are in conversation with each other. And you'll see in the announcement that I have some tips on that second section as well on how to avoid simply summarizing your sources in the second section. You don't want to summarize your sources. In some way, you want to preview highlights from them and talk about how they're connected in that second section. Your readers will see the summaries when they get to your collection of sources, so they do not need summaries in your editor's introduction. Okay, so for the fixed up draft, it is essential that you begin the draft, begin a new document, and I would call it your name, editor's introduction as the title. Okay, it needs to be in your group folder. Okay, so if it's in your group folder, you will just simply take the URL of the document and submit it to this assignment. If it's in your group folder, I'll already have access to it. Okay, so just copy and paste the URL. Also, it needs to be in your group's Google folder for the next thing that you are going to be doing for Wednesday, which is the peer response to the editor's introduction drafts. Okay, so you want to have 5 comments according to these instructions here, using the comments feature on Google Docs. So the instructions are fairly straightforward. You are not fixing things for people. You are not worried so much about spelling or grammar. Okay, this is mainly still a very rough draft. You want to focus on the bigger issues that need to be addressed as to how they are meeting the assignment. They'll probably rewrite and fix spelling or grammar things the closer they get to a final draft. Okay. Also keep in mind that it's essential that you are participating in your group's peer review process. We're getting close to the time that you will be doing a evaluation of your group members' engagement in this process. So please keep vigilant on providing good feedback to your group members. Okay, and then this is going to be due Friday. Is you're going to come up with a revision plan as to how you're going to take the advice that you got from the peer review, and not just the advice you got, but also what you learned from reading other people's drafts, and how you're going to revise your editor's introduction going forward. Okay, so you'll have that due on Friday, so your revision plan. And that's something that you're going to see common through the next few weeks to the end of the semester is after having a peer review, we often will have a revision plan. And then finally, well, not finally because you have a studio, but you're also going to be looking over the Reader's Guide assignment again. I've asked you to look at this several times, but you're going to be next week putting together the full draft. And then next week you will also be drafting this bonus feature. So I want you to start having that on your mind as well. The last thing you're doing this week is the Digital Design Studio. So this will really help you in thinking about how you want to design your reader's guide and what it should look like and what are some good practices for that. Okay. All right, so that's it for this week. Please let me know if you have any questions. Also, I'm going to be in the announcement that you're accessing this video through, I'm going to have a link to some sample student readers guides that I thought were successful from last semester. So if you'd like to see some examples, feel free to look at those. All right, have a great week, everybody.